Good morning. Welcome to yoga. The cat is going to help. Let's go ahead and start our practice by sitting on something firm, whether that's the mat or a bolster. Let yourself be planted. And then we'll bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, and we'll simply notice our breath as it moves through the body. And then as it moves through, we're going to make an intentional effort to feel the belly expand with that breath first. And then once it's expanded as much as possible, let the chest rise. Let the chest fall first, and then the belly recedes. So the belly is expanded most of the time. Huckleberry, come here. Come on, baby. No? Okay. So that's belly, chest, chest, belly. Gonna relax the arms, the shoulders, and the breath. We'll roll the shoulders back a few times. Bring the hands to the shoulders. We will circle back the elbows. And then something a little bit different. Let the arms relax gently at your sides. I'd like you to move your shoulder blades. We're going to move them down towards the tail and towards the spine. Down and together, then release. And then let's play with up and together. And then we'll take one arm up and over. And I want you to play with that up feeling in the shoulder blade. And kind of round into it. And then same shape, but bring the shoulder blade down. Let your head fall to the side, so with the shoulder blade down and the head dropped, you get a stretch around the neck. And release. We'll take it to the other side. Arm up and over. Lift the shoulder blade to start. Play with that stretch there. And then the shoulder blade coming down. Let the head drop to the side. Play with the neck stretch. return. Excellent. Let's roll the shoulders back a few more times, get them feeling balanced and level. Bring the elbows in close to the sides, palms up. We're going to open and close the hands. As if you were saloon style doors, we're just going to open and close. Now what I'm hoping that you're feeling is that down and back sensation in the shoulder blades like we practiced before. And again, one arm up and over. Roll it on down, this time towards your knee. Reach on out, remembering to keep both the buttocks on the floor. Down towards the middle. And bring it all the way up. We'll take the second side up and over. Down towards the knee. And to the middle. Bring it on up. Bring those elbows in close again. We'll use those rotator cuffs, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other and down towards the tail. And let's go ahead and stretch them out long. Reach towards the floor, but out wide enough so you can't quite touch it. And we're going to rotate from the shoulders. So the thing you'll notice is the hands, palms going up and down, but feel it from the shoulders. There we go. We'll hold it with shoulders rolled back, so that means the palms are probably up. Reach out wide, keeping the shoulders low. The hands will go up. Thumbs reaching for the back wall. Let the neck relax. And let it go. We're going to come up to hands and knees. A little cat and cow. So we have our cat, navel raised towards the spine, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, and the opposite. Lift the tail, lift the chin, let the belly drop towards the floor. We'll take it back and forth. And we're going to circle the hips. Press the hips over to one side and then down towards the heels. We'll come up the other side and then into kind of a kneeling plank position. Keep circling around. Circle the other direction. Come into your kneeling plank position, and we'll get long between the knees and the shoulders. Little tuck of the low belly to protect the spine. And we're going to rotate our elbows until when we bend them, they go straight back. So instead of going out wide, they're going to go straight back. It's going to make our core work a little bit harder. Then press back, child's pose. Hips to heels, let the head relax. Take some deep breaths. Let the shoulders reach towards the floor. Bring it forward again. We'll go from our kneeling plank. You can do plank on your toes as well as if you prefer. Bend the elbows back. Engage through the upper body. Feel that openness across the chest. Shoulders are reaching down. And then press it back, child's pose. Stretch the shoulders. Take it forward. And if it's okay with your wrists, I challenge you to take it even deeper. And then as you go back, open up the knees. And you should have a little bit more space to drop into your shoulder stretch a little bit more now. Bring it forward. Knees can come together or stay apart. Doesn't matter. You can come up on your toes if you want. Press it back. Wide knees. Stretch the shoulders. Now what I'd like you to do is bring your arms as close to your head as possible. So our upper arms are squeezing against our ears. Our tail is reaching away, so feel that right around the shoulder blades. Then drop the elbows to the mat. Bring the palms of your hands together and bend the elbows. Thumbs reaching for the back of your neck. Now for some people this will be a very intense stretch. For some people it won't feel like much at all. So if you're in the second category, walk your elbows forward a little bit so your tail is up in the air and do it again. Armpits reaching towards the floor. Tail reaching back. And then if these thumbs reaching for the back of your neck still isn't quite as much stretch as you'd like, you can turn the hands so that your palms are reaching for your back instead, pinkies side by side. And unwind. We're going to put our hands on the mat and our tail in the air for a downward facing dog. Pedal out the calves, feel those heels pressing towards the floor. Push the stretch up into your hamstrings, lifting the tail towards the ceiling. Reach the armpits towards the knees. Let the neck hang long and heavy. And walk your hands back towards your feet. Soften the knees, make your way all the way up to standing, hands high overhead. And then hands to heart space. We'll put a little pressure between the palms to help engage the upper body. And shift all the way over to your left leg. Turn the right side out to tree pose. Now tree pose can be anywhere from this little kickstand foot down here on the ground, all the way up to the hips if you like. If it's uncomfortable to put weight right on the side of your other knee, don't put it there. And set it down. Take the arms up high overhead. And reach it down to the floor, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. Stick your upper body straight out like a shelf from the wall. Hands might support you from the shins or the floor. Exhale, back down, reaching the head towards the toes. Breathe in, come all the way up. Stretch those arms back up overhead again. Down to heart space. Shift your weight over to the right side. Left knee will come up to tree. And let it down. Take the arms up high overhead. This time, if you'd like to do a heart lift, engage through the low belly, squeeze through the thighs, lift the heart up, thumbs reaching back. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, back down. Breathe in, come all the way up. Instead of heart space this time, I'm going to drop my shoulders, drop my elbows. Palms stay up like I'm holding two large platters. Roll those shoulders back just like we practiced, but notice if your back is overly arched. We want the natural curve of the spine and no more. Elbows slightly reaching forward, thumbs slightly reaching backwards, and feel as though you have weight on those platters, encouraging the neck and collarbone to stretch away from each other. We'll shift our weight to the right side, lift your left leg in tree pose. And set it down. Take the arms up overhead. Heart lift if you like. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. I'm going to change this up to a monkey pose by bringing my thumb or my pinkies towards the ceiling behind me. I've got a tight, tight core all the way around from belly to spine that's helping to hold me up. Exhale back down. Bring it all the way back up. Find those platters. Let the arms shift into place. The rib cage comes into neutral. We'll tree pose on our second side. I believe that's right knee out. Find your breath. Just like we practiced in the beginning. Fully expanding through the belly and the chest. And let that foot go. We'll take the arms back up overhead. Heart lift if you like. And forward fold. Lock those hands forward. We're going to take a downward facing dog. Imagine every knuckle of every finger pressing the mat down and away. Energy going towards your fingertips. Shift your weight forward over your hands, plank. Knees are always an option here. And then child's pose. Press your hips back towards the heels. We're going to reach both hands over to one side. Your hips might want to come with you, but I encourage you to really press that outer side hip away. And the other side. Back to the center. Walk the hands forward until the tail comes up in the air. Drop the lower arms to the mat. And again, we will bring our thumbs towards the back of our neck. Elbows are as close to the head as you can get it. Letting the armpits drop towards the mat.
Relax back, child's pose. Bring it back up to downward facing dog. And I want you to think of, again, the shoulder blades reaching into the back and the neck being long, the head being very heavy. Let's take our right leg and stretch it up into the air. We're going to keep our pelvis level. So there's a temptation here to want to get your leg really high and bring the right hip up. But this time we're going to keep it down. So your belly button is facing the floor. Your upper toes are flexed, pointing down towards your lower toes. And then we're going to bring the right knee towards the nose, nice and slow. We're going to lift our belly button up out of the way. And then shift the weight forward over your hands. Set the foot down between the hands, low lunge. So that looks easier than it really is. So if your foot sets down right back here, that's fine. Help it on up. It'll come. Allow yourself to shift and rock into these hips. And then we're going to lengthen the front leg. Maybe it goes straight, maybe not today. But we're going to keep the foot flat on the ground and not let it roll to the outside. Step that front leg back to downward facing dog. And we'll take the left leg up this time. Again, remembering that we're keeping the pelvis level. This does limit our range of motion, and that's okay. We're practicing something different right now. Bring the knee towards the nose, nice and slow. Lift the belly up out of the way, rounding the spine forward like a crunch. Shift the weight forward over the hands and then set the foot down as close to between the hands as you can. Let yourself rock into the hips. And then lengthen the front leg, pyramid pose. Rolling the front foot towards the arch. The back foot is facing the top of your mat with the heel reaching towards the floor. Step the front foot back, downward facing dog. And this time, lift the right leg. We're going to allow the right hip to lift. Reach that foot as high as you can get it. Swing it forward, low lunge. Open the shoulders. The weight is not on your hands, it's on your feet.
Lengthen out the front leg and pivot to the side. We're going to take a straddle. Let your head drop towards the mat. And then reach your hands up behind you, interlace the fingers, and reach your hands to either the ceiling and or in the direction of the wall that is behind your head. So first and foremost, we got shoulders away from ears. And then maybe if your flexibility allows, your hands go from pointing straight up to pointing a little bit in the same direction as your toes. Release the arms. We'll pivot back to the right leg. Low lunge. Downward facing dog. Left leg this time goes as high as it can. Right heel reaching down, left toes reaching up. Swing it forward, low lunge. Lengthen the front leg. Pivot to the side, find your straddle. Head reaching towards the floor. Again, hands up behind you, shoulders reaching away from ears. Take that stretch as far as is safe for you and your shoulders. Now, if this is very challenging to you because your hands don't go together, feel free to use a yoga strap, a belt, a hand towel, whatever works for you so that you can extend the range of your fingers to get your hands together securely. And bring it back down. Pivot on your mat, back towards the left leg. Low lunge. Downward facing dog. Come to hands and knees. And we're going to bring our forearms down to the mat. Now your forearms are going to form the number 11, so they're parallel to one another. That's harder than it seems. Your elbows are going to want to splay out, your hands are going to want to come together. It's your job to keep them parallel. Palms flat on the floor. If this is really challenging for you, I like to put a yoga block right here in between my hands, or a book or anything that's going to help keep my hands apart. From here, we're going to make it more challenging by sinking the hips back, and head is going to go right between those elbows. Remember, the elbows are not going to get further apart. They're shoulder width apart only. Now, without moving your arms at all, forehead still touching the mat, try to get your head closer to your fingertips. It's a very small movement, maybe an inch. And release. Sit back on your heels. If this does not feel fantastic on your knees, feel free to sit on blocks or a bolster. But let's give the shoulders a moment because that was a lot of shifting and changing. Go ahead and just explore the new range of motion here. All right, let those shoulders come down and lift one ear. Take the opposite arm, so if my head's reaching to the left, I'm going to reach my right arm out away from my torso as much as I can. I'm going to slowly bring it up and then slowly take it back down. Let's do that again. Bring the head back up to neutral. And we'll take the second side. Lift the ear. Arm reaches out. Slowly bring it up. Keeping that shoulder low so there's lots of space between the shoulder and ear. And back down. Slowly up. And back down. Bring the head back to neutral. Let's make our way back down to the mat with our forearms. Again, shoulder width apart, hands parallel to, or forearms parallel to one another. Shift your weight back so your forehead comes down towards the mat. And this time, if you would like to play with dolphin, please do. So that's this same upper body, but our legs lengthen. So we're somewhere between where we were and a downward facing dog. Again, my head is reaching away from my shoulders. This time it's going to go towards my elbows as opposed to my hands, since my torso is at a different angle. Breathe through it. Notice how the body wants to let go into gravity. Let your breath calm your body enough to slide into that range of motion. And let it go. Let's take one arm, slide it underneath. Rest your weight on your shoulder, upper arm, and side of the head. Two ways to do this stretch. We can reach our arm, our free arm
up and overhead. Or the more traditional way is to take the arm behind, back of the hand to the back, rotate the torso as much as possible. Notice that your hips will try to swing to the side. Keep them still. Unwind. We'll take the other hand underneath. Option for the more traditional style, thread the needle, bringing the arm around behind, big twist through the torso. And unwind.
Make your way to lying on your back. We'll play with a little happy baby. Hands to ankles or feet. And you can make this static or you can explore with it. Go ahead and stretch your legs towards the ceiling. You can hold them if that's helpful. Rest the ankles, stretch the toes. We'll bring our legs down to the mat and cross at the ankles. Let the knees fall towards the floor. Notice how maybe your low back lifted up off the floor. Encourage it to settle and be heavy. We'll take the arms up overhead. And then find somewhere that's a gentle stretch for them as well. Maybe it's out to the sides like you're a goalpost. Maybe it's reaching for your own elbows. Bring the knees up and cross with the other ankle in front. Set them back down. body now to stretch and explore what it's like to be down here on your back. Notice any changes in your body that you've made over the last hour. And find your way to Savasana, our relaxation pose. Traditionally done by lying flat on the back, with the legs relaxed, open to the sides, palms at your sides face up. That being said, if there's anything that would help you get more comfortable in this position, like a bolster under your knees, eye pillow, sweater, blanket, whatever you're in need of, let yourself take that, because the ultimate purpose of this pose has a lot less to do with your body than it does your mind. So let yourself get comfortable. We'll bring awareness to our breath. And here, at least today, it is raining, which is why we're inside. Maybe it's raining where you are today. Or maybe you can hear my rain from here. But you could imagine rain on soil, one drop after the next, and the next, and the next. Moistening the ground, softening the ground. The rain giving a gentle massage to the soil. Notice the smell, the moisture in the air. Imagine your body on the soil, gently massaged as well. Imagine now that the rain clouds disperse. Beams of light begin poking through the clouds, warming and drying the air, warming and drying your skin. And then return your awareness to the room that you're in, warm and dry. Begin reconnecting with your body, stretch and move and reawaken. Take a moment to acknowledge the effort that you've put in and allow yourself to be grateful for it. Gently, slowly, make your way up to sitting. We'll bring our hands to heart space and our thoughts to a place of gratitude. Together, we're going to take a deep breath in and out. And on that out, I invite you to Om along with us. It's a long, drawn-out note. We'll take a deep breath in. Thank you. Namaste.